Hotep Scholars, I'm Professor Horton, and once again, this is STEM for second grade. We've been talking all about matter. We said that matter has three states: solid, liquid, and gas. Solid is matter with both size and shape. Liquid is matter with size but no shape. And gas is matter with no size and no shape. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the transformation of matter from a liquid to a gas when we make clouds in a jar. So join me in the lab for today's experiment. Alright scholars, we are back in the lab and ready to make our clouds in a jar. For this experiment, we will need warm water, ice, and some sort of aerosol spray. I chose to use disinfectant spray, but you might choose to use maybe hairspray. Make sure you get your parents' assistance and their permission. You will need warm water for this experiment. We're going to start off by making one spray of our aerosol spray into the jar. Quickly put the metal lid over the jar but upside down, and we're going to put the ice inside of the upside down lid. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here so I can kind of explain what's going on. So clouds form when water vapor cools. So in this experiment, at the bottom we have warm water, which would be similar to the water that's on the earth. The water then evaporates and it turns into gas. In that process, we are using ice to cool down that water vapor, and that's forming a cloud. Also, if you take a close look at the size of the jar, you'll notice that there are water droplets dripping down the sides of the jar. This is called condensation. This also happens when you drink a cold glass of water on a warm day. You'll notice that along the sides of the glass, you'll start to see condensation. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue to walk through this experiment. As you take a close look between the water and the lid, you'll notice that the clouds are beginning to form. You might even see them spinning in your experiment. You can still see the water drops falling from the top of the lid. This is like rain coming down from the clouds. I'm just going to turn it a little bit to see if we can get a closer view. All right, yes. So, and when I zoom in, you can get a closer look at the clouds as they form inside of our jar. All right. At the end of your experiment, go ahead and also remove the lid from your jar. And you'll notice that the clouds begin to escape from the jar. It's a little bit thicker than smoke, almost like fog. All right, scholars, once again, try this experiment out at home. You will need your parents' permission. Once again, you will use hot water. It does not need to be boiling. It doesn't need to be boiling hot, but it does need to be hot. So because of that, you must get your parents' permission. Just as a side note, you must also make sure that the lid is metal. You don't have to use a lid. You might use a metal container of some sort. If you have a metal bowl, anything that will cover the entire top of the jar. You're going to fill that with ice, and within 1 to 2 minutes, you'll immediately start to see the cloud form. Also, don't forget that one spray of the aerosol into the jar before you put the ice on top of it. And in this experiment, the aerosol acts as the dirt and dust would act in the actual atmosphere. So that cool water vapor actually has to have something to grab onto, and that's how we see the clouds form. So we need something to give the water vapor something to kind of grab onto, and that's why we use the aerosol. All right, scholars, as usual, document every step of this process in your launch log. That's all I got for you. Have a great day.